Brother Larry King, you called a meeting at Blue Seas Restaurant in Tuskegee, Alabama. And you summoned business people and all other kinds of people to this meeting to talk about tennis. What was your purpose?
I wanted to expose the community to the international sport of tennis, something that is in Tuskegee Institute's DNA. It was called Tuskegee Normal, but since 1890, Booker Washington built clay courts in Tuskegee, and we've been playing tennis ever since.
I'm Leroy Joyner. I'm the national coach for Grassroots Tennis Association, and like he said, I'm also the father of the CEOs of this particular company. As funny as it might sound, I do work for my children.
Excellent.
Doesn't sound funny at all. And I'm Erica Muhammad. I'm co-director of Seed Incorporated along with my husband Scott Muhammad. And Seed Incorporated stands for Students for Education and Economic Development. And that's really what we do, education and economic development with our children and grown-ups too. We do primarily agriculture work, but we do many other areas like character development, all different types of projects. The children work on an Atonement Memorial Garden in the Ridgewood community to memorialize the murder victims in Tuskegee. That's just a little bit of what SEED does. We also partner with the Tuskegee Institute Community Tennis Club so that the children that are involved with us as SEED also get the opportunity to learn the sport of tennis and become proficient in the skills and get to play in tournaments around the country. So it's a wonderful partnership.
And my name is Tracy Moon. I am basically here for support to Mr. King. I have been, and just to know that he has been a continued force since he's gotten here with tennis, and to do something for our children and our community and anything to help their growth, I'm all for. And so I'm just here right now for support for him.
Sister Raynell. I am a new Tuskegeean from Springfield, Massachusetts, and I'm here representing SEED. I'm the development director, and I am super excited about tennis and all the opportunities that it has to offer for the students.
Okay, thanks to all of you. Now, Brother Larry, what is the point of this meeting today? Why did you assemble these people?
Well, first off, I have been for the past 5 years, 352 days and counting, requesting that the community contribute to the development of tennis in my sponsorship, or at least wanting to bring tennis to the community. This is the first opportunity we've had to thank them, give back, you might say, and give them a progressive report of what we have done in the past, as well as to announce what we're going to be doing in the future, and to introduce them to the Grassroots Tennis Program, which we are looking to develop as many young people as we can bring to the sport, and that's it. So I booked Blue Seas Restaurant. We're offering a free meal for anybody who will sit through a 45-minute presentation and just listen to our story of what we're trying to do. And hopefully we'll encourage more people to come out and to do and to get engaged in the sport of tennis. It's an international sport, and the sky's the limit.
I understand that there's a video.
Yes.
That kind of like tell what you really need from the people. Well, tell me about that.
Yes, there's a national program that's in existence and have been in existence since 2010. The name of that program is Parental Wisdom 101, and the purpose of the program is to involve parents in the game of tennis but simultaneously empower the parents through the proper resources to have them not only to educate their kid on and off the tennis court, but also allow them the economic resources that they need to further their kids' tennis education and also general education.
Brother King, where did you recruit these children from?
The Ridgewood community through the Seeds program, and you have not stated, but you do have some video of our first trip to Tallahassee, and that was back in '16. The first trip that we took, it was just for observation. The children weren't prepared to play. They hadn't been introduced to it, other than they were going on a trip to experience what it was like to see black people playing tennis in Tallahassee. Had it not been for you and your church's contribution of transportation and so forth, that trip never would have happened.
Have their responses surprised you or shocked you in any fashion?
I can't say it shocked me. Anytime a young person gets a racket in their hand and a ball, they respond the way they're supposed to.
What about their response to the trips to different cities?
They have changed. In fact, if you recall the story that we had, we couldn't even get out of town because one young man said that he could not leave town. He wanted to, and we were on the bus headed to Florida. We had to turn around and bring him back because he said he didn't want to leave home. Those children who did come with us or go with us, they realized the world that we had opened up to them, and now every time we are taking a trip, they all want to come because they know what's at the end of the trip. They know the accommodations are going to be there. They know they're going to meet people from all over the country at these various different places. So it opens up a venue and the idea that they never had exposure to before.
Ms. Erica, what has been your experience with them? You have accompanied them on a number of these trips. What's your opinion about how it impacts these young people?
Okay, first off, when a child has the opportunity to travel beyond where they live, it's always an eye-opening experience, and it just broadens your horizon as a person to be able just to see other things. So that's a benefit all by itself, just the opportunity to travel. Then just the sport of tennis, it is a discipline, and a discipline is a tool that you use to make your mind govern your body. And most children are the opposite. Their body governs their mind. So tennis is one of those disciplines that allows a child to become self-disciplined. And that's one of the most essential things for the success of any child or adult, is the ability to be self-disciplined. So the sport of tennis offers them the ability to learn how to do that. So we can definitely see the growth in the children as they play. And that's just a character basis, but also their skills have been improving as they've been practicing and competing, and it's really exciting to see them develop.
And your national observations?
Basically, I'm going to echo what Erica has basically stated. The opportunity for the child to participate in the game of tennis does introduce them to a disciplined format that aids the community and the parental structure at home in basically governing that child's behavior, because on the tennis court, each movement on the tennis court, there is a penalty for either being in accordance to the rules, which is the lines that governs the court, or being not in accordance. So basically the discipline factor to me is huge.
And the video that you have developed, what does it entail, and what will it do for the community in Tuskegee to help them understand the complexity and or the need for them to get involved in this program?
In a simple, short statement, one viewership of the Parental Wisdom 101 video will basically inform you of the success that a parent can entertain within the parental structure by being empowered to do something. in reference to the video that basically has been prepared for the Tuskegee community. That particular video allows any resident of this community to see their past history and what type of foundation should be laid upon that past history.
Tracy, why did you show up today?
I showed up because this is important to Mr. King, and I know he is, from the first day that I met him, he introduced himself to me and his idea to me. And when he said that he was basically focusing on the kids, trying to start a program, bring this back into the community, I was all hands on deck. You know, I support him, and I think what he's doing is genuine. And it's been a long road for him. I know that because he and I do. He'll come to me and we'll talk. But I know that this is a passion that he has above. It's very deep.
That's
and
right.
And I can appreciate.
Heart attack wrapped in some straws. Right?
Exactly. And you know, and I just want to offer my support, and whatever I can, I give to him for his dream, for the kids.
Very good. Now you moved all the way to the country from what, Massachusetts?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, how do you view this initiative as it relates to our children?
Yes, sir. I know that our children are the most important aspects of our community, and I know that the more we feed into them and give them opportunities to grow, the more our people, our communities will develop into beautiful places to be, decent communities, safe communities. So any way I can help the children to be better, which will help the community to be better, I'm willing to help.
Now, when I walked in the door, I heard you speaking about the need for the community to understand and get involved in this program, and what it will take to make such a program go. Give us a little shot of that, if you would.
Yeah, basically what you walked into was a quick oration into this. In order for a community to be resourceful in any city, it has to be able to provide relationships with the parental structure, the educational structure, the government structure, and the local, state, and national corporate sectors. Basically, if you try to do any one of those without the involvement of the other, you're basically setting yourself up on either a short-term or long-term failure plan. And that's basically what I was trying to articulate.
And taken from that, Brother Larry, what are you asking this community to do? Not to jumpstart, because you've already done that, but to make sure that this program can go forward.
I need participants. Coco Groff, you know, that 15-year-older that's shaking the world of tennis up internationally right now. She came from a community like ours. I know enough about the history of this community to know that a lot of communities of color around the nation, around the world, were spawned or started from our community. And I want to see us take that leadership role again and develop the young people within the Black Belt region and show them that there is another way. You know, this is an international sport. The rules are the same all over the world. All you have to do is practice.
Give us a quick timetable on what you've done with these children up to this point.
Well, over the past 5 years, I have exposed them, and you know, you have experienced one young man who was a problem 4 or 5 years ago. Today, he's receiving awards for being an improved person. You know, and not only him, you know, there are a group of these young people that people were not engaged with, you know. So it just fills my heart to know that these young people, they've got the skills, they're showing the skills, they are developing, they will be our citizens of the future. They'll
Yeah.
take care of us.
Now, Tracy mentioned your sincere attitude. Why do you do what you do when the struggle is so complex?
I got nothing else. Well, I do have something else. I take care of my mother. But
Yeah, you do that. I must commend you on that one.
Beyond taking care of my mother, I have to have something else to do. Otherwise, I'd lose all sanity. You know, when I left here in 1960, this was one community that I was proud of. You know, it instilled pride. We could be and do anything we wanted to do. You know, when I came back, you know, it was not the same community. So therefore, I've got a few years left, and I'm trying to bring as much of that back to us as possible.
In your movements around the nation and doing what you've been doing, how do you see this journey that Brother King is on now?
My involvement with Larry King basically is due to the fact that I see success at the end of the tunnel for him. And that success can basically be envisioned by the participants that you're having sitting, that you're basically recording now. This young lady here runs a program in the community that's benefiting kids in a miraculous manner. We're basically intervening in what you might say are their societal problems. Over here you have Larry basically getting on the ground with the children and trying to bring them up from where they're at and introducing them to a lifestyle that they would have never seen had he had never started. This young lady that you just talked about moving from Massachusetts, she's a concerned citizen today in this particular community. And like she stated, the children are a vital aspect of our community, and you can see by her participation, like any resident, she's ready to jump in and help out if she can. And Miss Tracy that sits on my right hand side, she's a local politician aspiring to get into the fight so she can basically, from the governmental aspect, divert any kind of resources needed to bring these children and uplift them, so we won't keep falling for this same propaganda that's being sold in all our communities, not just Tuskegee. So when I look at that in its totality, what I really see is this: we can do it. It is possible. And basically it's going to take a community effort. So Mr. King is on the right path, and I do see great, great success ahead.
So we're going to go out of here with the last words.
I just wanted to add that one of the benefits of tennis for our children is it allows them an opportunity to get rid of all of that excess energy. And when children don't have an outlet for that energy in a physical kind of way, it's going to take other kind of expressions that are not going to necessarily be positive. So that's one of the benefits that I have seen in our children, is it actually allows them to burn up some of this energy that they have such an abundance of. And it makes them actually more calm, you know, when they're done. So I think that is a great blessing for the game of tennis.
Ms. Tracy, last word.
I think it's definitely a great thing to bring this to the community and giving the children another choice. You know, there's something other than basketball and football, you know, that we can right here, you know, develop our children into to move to a different level and to have dreams. And that, you know, even if they can't do it, and tennis is a team sport, but it's also an individual sport. And that's something that they work on within themselves, you know, to move forward. And I think it's a great thing. And like I said, you know, I was there from day one. He gave me the spiel, and I'll be there until he said, I don't need you anymore. And I'll probably still be there.
Well, you're not going to hear that.
You're right.
Last word, brother.
Again, Larry does need community support, and I really believe that Tuskegee, Alabama has the potential to support his program.
Last word.
Yes, the city of Tuskegee, you are wonderful people, great, great history. Invest in your children by coming down and introducing them to the game of tennis. To Brother Larry, you won't be disappointed.
Last word, Brother Larry.
Wake up. Let's go on the tennis court. Let's have fun. This is my second childhood. I don't have that many days left, so come on. I challenge you to come on out.
Hello there, young fellas. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Very good. You guys have been travelers in dealing with the tennis thing. Now, I want to know what you think about it, and I'll ask you some more questions after that. So tell me what you think about the traveling that you guys have done.
Oh, me first. I really enjoyed the experience that the tennis program brought to us traveling wise. I think it was pretty fair for like all of us to at least be able to travel that long distance and still be able to like keep our composure so far over the entire trip. I enjoyed like how Brother Larry like gave us the opportunity to experience the different parts of Florida and even Atlanta in different ways. So that was pretty good for us in that aspect.
Very good. Have you been on trips? Not yet? Okay, but you have, haven't you?
Yes.
What do you think about traveling around the country?
My second time being in Orlando, Florida, was pretty good.
Well, all right then.
But not the hotels.
Oh, but not what?
The hotels.
Not the who?
The hotels.
Oh, the hotels?
Mhm.
You did not enjoy the hotels?
They were too small.
Is that right? Did they have swimming pools?
Yes. But
Did
it's
you-
really cold.
Oh, the swimming pools was cold, and the hotels was too small. All right.
But other than that, I had a great time.
Well, all right there. Now, that is an opinion. All right. Now, did you guys practice and play tennis at these different locations?
Yes.
Every single location was actually like meant for us to play tennis at them. So I don't think there was a time where we weren't on our P's and Q's about the like with Brother Larry like questioning us about tennis and us playing tennis.
Were you guys playing in competition with other people, or were you just playing for the practice?
On 80% of them, I believe, maybe about 70% of them, we did play with competitively.
Oh,
So at
good.
the Orlando tennis tournament, we did, but in other parts of Orlando, like not Orlando, but like the Atlanta spot, we didn't actually play competitively.
Okay. Now, young people have strong opinions about stuff, just like we heard about this hotel. What do you guys think that needs to be done for the future trips
Oh.
that are planned for young people?
Oh Jesus! Well, if I could name, you want to start? Okay. Well, if the one thing that like I could say that needs to be better corrected is just the practice schedule. That's about it. Everything else, I really can't complain. We got a free hotel. We got free trip that none of us had to pay out of pocket, and it was pretty enjoyable in that aspect. I really enjoyed all of that, and I thank him for that to this day. But as far as practice wise goes, I feel like we need to find better practice accommodation. So,
Okay, practice. Okay, what do you suggest for the future? Bigger hotels, warmer swimming pools, and what else?
Farther trips.
Oh, farther trips. You want to go on some more mileage, huh? All right. Now, are you anxious to go now on a trip since you've heard what these young fellas have to say? Have you had any practice yet? Do you have a tennis racket yet? Well, you see Mr. Larry King, because he has lots of tennis rackets, and he can equip you so that you can practice and get ready to compete in future events, okay?